If you want to become a winger that defenders truly hate playing against, you need to understand something most players never learn. It's not just about skill. It's not just about speed. It's about how you make defenders feel. Because the best wingers don't just try to beat defenders. They make them uncomfortable from the first second. But before we even talk about what defenders hate, you need to fix how you think about the game. Because this is where most players are already losing. A lot of players watch clips online and think, I can do that, and maybe you can. But football isn't played in highlights. It's faster, more
Amusement.
The defender in front of you isn't just standing there. They're reading you, watching you, waiting for you to make a mistake. So you can't step onto the pitch thinking you'll beat everyone easily. That's not confidence. That's a lack of understanding. You can't have elite dreams with average habits. You can't expect top-level results with low-level preparation. If your training is casual, if your intensity is low, if your mindset is weak, defenders will expose that instantly. So before anything else, fix your mindset. Respect your level, but commit to improving it. Because real confidence doesn't come from thinking you're good. It comes from knowing you've prepared. And once your mindset is right, that's when you start understanding what defenders actually hate. The first thing defenders hate is unpredictability. Not tricks, not skills, unpredictability. Because if a defender knows what you're going to do, they're already in control. They position their body, they close the angle, they force you into the direction they want. And now you're playing their game. But the moment they don't know what you're going to do, everything changes. Now they hesitate. Now they take an extra step. Now they're unsure. And in football, that 1 second of hesitation is everything. That's where space appears. That's where you win. Unpredictability is not about doing random skills. It's about making the defender doubt every decision they make. Sometimes you go outside. Sometimes you cut inside. Sometimes you slow down. Sometimes you pass. Because once they start guessing, you're already ahead. And this is where mindset matters again. Because predictable players usually think in one way. I'm going to do this move. But football doesn't work like that. You have to read the moment. You have to adapt. And once you do that, you stop playing like everyone else. The second thing defenders hate is being attacked before they're ready. And this is where most players lose 1v1s without even realizing it. They receive the ball and they pause. They take a touch. They look up. They think. And in that moment, the defender is getting comfortable. They're setting their feet, adjusting their body, preparing for you. And once a defender is set, you've already made your job harder. Because now they're in control. Now they're balanced. Now they're ready to react to anything you do. But top players don't give defenders that time. They attack immediately. One touch forward, and suddenly everything changes. Now the defender is moving backwards. Now they're reacting. Now they're uncomfortable. And that's where you want them. You don't want to react to the defender. You want the defender reacting to you. That small difference changes everything. And it comes down to mindset again. Because hesitation usually comes from doubt. You're not sure what to do. You're afraid to lose the ball. So you wait. But in football, waiting is losing. The third thing defenders hate is movement without the ball. And this is something most players completely ignore. They think football only matters when they have the ball. So when they don't have it, they stand still. They wait. They switch off. And for a defender, that's easy. They can mark you, track you, control you. But now imagine marking someone who never stops moving. They check short. They run in behind. They drift wide. They move inside. Now you're not just defending, you're chasing. And chasing creates mistakes. Because the more a defender has to think, the more likely they are to get something wrong. Movement without the ball is not about running randomly. It's about being active, being available, being a problem even when you don't have the ball. And once you understand that, you become dangerous before you even touch it. The fourth thing defenders hate is change of pace. Not just speed, timing. Because speed alone is not enough. At higher levels, everyone is fast. Defenders can match your speed. They can recover. They can catch up. So if your only weapon is speed, you become predictable. But what defenders struggle with is timing. When you slow down, they relax. They step forward. They think they're in control. And then suddenly, you explode. That's when they lose balance. That's when they get beaten. That moment between slow and fast is where the advantage is created. And this is something you have to train. Not just running fast, but knowing when to run fast. That's what separates average players from dangerous players. The fifth thing defenders hate is real confidence. Not fake confidence. Not just doing skills for no reason. Real confidence. And real confidence comes from preparation. Because here's the truth. If you train casually, you will play casually. If your intensity in training is low, your intensity in matches will drop. If you avoid difficult situations in training, you will avoid them in games. That's why some players look good in training. but disappear in matches. Because pressure exposes preparation. Real confidence comes from repetition, from doing the same things over and over again, from training at high intensity, from putting yourself in uncomfortable situations. So when the moment comes in a match, you're not guessing. You're ready. And that's what defenders hate the most. Players who are prepared. Players who don't hesitate. Players who keep coming at them again and again. Because at the end of the day, defenders don't just struggle against skill. They struggle against players who understand the game. Players who think differently. Players who are mentally ready. So if you want to become that player, fix your mindset. Train with purpose. Play with intensity. And stop expecting the game to be easy. Because once you understand how difficult it really is, that's when you start becoming dangerous.